My name is Chris Schaffner, and I am Eileen's dad. She just started on Monday. She has been interested in Spanish or sign language since preschool, and we thought now would be a good time to make the move. She wasn't super happy about where she was, so we went for it.
Welcome.
And I'm going to have to leave to take another one of my children, but Cindy is also on here, so between the two of us, we'll catch it all, I think.
Fantastic. We understand.
Okay.
Claire.
So I'm Megan Sear, and my daughter is Claire LV, and she is in first grade in Miss Yolanda's class. And we just moved here from Oregon, and this is her first experience with the Spanish immersion. And so far, so good. It's going really well.
Welcome. Cynthia.
I think we lost Cynthia.
I'm going to skip Cynthia. I'll come back to her for sure. Eric.
Your mic, Eric.
Sorry about that. My name is Eric Sowetsky. I have a son in the third grade class. I'm actually involved with the PTO. I always encourage people to get involved, either with site council or with the PTO. We help. I know we're kind of in a little bit of isolation this year, but we still try to do things like send care packages out to our students. And when we have non-quarantine conditions, we organize things like movie nights and help raise funds for sending students on field trips. So that's very important work that needs someone to do it, and we always welcome people to help out with that. I'll let everyone else continue, though. If my camera's off, it's because I'm trying to make dinner, so I don't want you to have to watch me eat.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm going to go back to Cynthia. I know I saw you just a second ago.
Oh, sorry. I use me all day. I'm actually a teacher at Edison High School. I'm Eileen's mom, and the first time I use it on my phone, so it's a little bit different. Now I know what my students experience, but I'm at soccer with Eileen right now, and we're happy to be part of Sheridan.
Yeah.
Welcome. Leonardo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leonardo. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I am the family liaison at Sheridan. So any question you have, any suggestion, please come and reach out to me. Welcome all.
Thank you. Liliana.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Liliana, and the coordinator for the Spanish Immersion Program.
Thank you. Maria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Peña. I am a second grade teacher here at Sheridan.
Thank you. Trisha.
Hi, good evening. My name is Trish Dillon. My daughter Harriet Thielen-Klatt is a kindergartner, first year, obviously, in Senor Briaza's class, and we are very excited. She was in Spanish immersion preschool starting when she was 17 months old, so we're excited to continue that, especially since her father and I are not Spanish speakers, so we're excited to continue her education.
Welcome, thank you. And Yolanda.
Hello, hi everybody. I'm Yolanda Rodriguez. I'm a first grade immersion teacher at Sheridan. I'm from Colombia, so proud of being a Spanish speaker. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. And I know that as we get into conversations, we will be welcoming other parents, so we might have to stop just quick and say, would you introduce yourself? So welcome, and I'm going to pass it on to our coordinator, Ms. Liliana.
Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen so you can see my presentation. Okay, we welcome you to our immersion family. Sorry about my pop-ups. We are so glad you're here. You make time to meet with us today because we want to just talk about some things it's important to know about our program. First, I'm going to go show you Quickly, who is the staff that's working with your child? We have some teachers right now with us, joining us, but some other staff couldn't make it. So I'm just going to show you. I think I have it already open, so I don't need to wait for that. Here we go. Okay. So Senora Guzman is the school principal. We got Miss Aiden. She's the assistant principal. This is me, the coordinator, Liliana. We have Miss Festal, and she's the EL leader and differentiation specialist. We have our Hi-Fi teacher, Kenisha, our kinder teacher, Sarai, our other kinder teacher, Marjorie. We got Maestra Yolanda, that she's joining us today, first grade. We got Maestra Natalie, first grade. Maestra Maria Peña, second grade. Rosa Maria, Maestra Rosa Maria, she's teaching second and third grade. We have Maestra Fuller, she's teaching third grade. For fourth and fifth grade, we got Maestra Sara. And we have our specialist, Miss Buffy for band. For music, language, and culture, Miss D. Alvarez. For physical education, we have Mr. Perkins. We have Jacob Naily for our art. Leonardo, that you met in a few seconds ago. He's our family liaison. Patricia is our school secretary. We got Lindsay, the transportation clerk. So let's start talking about our program's goal. So our main goal is to help our students become biliterate and bicultural. We always remind our parents, our families, that being bilingual is a process. It's not a product. So it's nothing that's going to happen overnight. It's something that's going to take time. Even it's going to take your whole life. Even us that we're bilingual, we keep learning every day new vocabulary, new words, new ways to say things, expressions. So it's a process that takes our whole life. Senora Guzman, you want to add something in this slide?
I think you mentioned it. We know that some processes are short, others are longer. And it's about embracing what a process brings from opportunities, challenges. We ask that in that process, you trust that we have your child's best intent and that we're going to do whatever is possible to make sure that when that child graduates from high school, he or she will be the person that you want your child to be, and that we work so hard to support your child of being.
I need to get a virus, something is popping up. Next, we're going to talk about benefits of being bilingual. Probably you're familiar with some of them. Probably there are new ones in here. So I'm just going to go briefly and review them all. And then we can share a little bit from your perspective, what do you think are the benefits of being bilingual? So number one, we have improved cognitive brain functions, improve social skills. Number two, number three, expand social circles, enhance job opportunities, give you access to other culture, make you a global citizen, help to prevent, this is the latest studies, that help to prevent or delay mental diseases such as Alzheimer's. So now, if you want to share with us, what do you think are benefits from bilingualism for your child? You can just open your mic and go ahead.
I would say having a more global view of the world is very helpful in growing up and learning about other cultures. To help with biases and discrimination. I think that's a huge benefit of being bilingual as well.
Great, thank you for sharing. Somebody else?
Yeah, I think I mean I agree with all of those, but especially I really like expanding social circles. You know, we always tell our kids that it's just best to be friends with as many different types of people, even different. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but yeah, to have as many different friends as you can, and also yeah, expanding your access to others' cultures and being able to travel and communicate with people and just to think about things like that, see how other people live, and see how that relates to your own life.
Great, thank you for sharing. Somebody else? Okay, that's okay. We can keep moving forward. We're gonna have a time later on for questions. So we're planned that space for asking and respond question later on. So you have something pending in your mind, keep it there. We're gonna get to that point. Now I'm gonna talk to you about something that I want you to feel familiar with this and be knowledgeable about common behaviors we see in bilingual person. On a person that's learning a new language, becoming bilingual, still, even us as adults, as bilingual, we keep experiencing those behaviors because that's part of being bilingual. So first, there's something we call a code switching, is when you start noticing your child going from English to Spanish to English. Is a normal behavior within bilinguals, and it's totally fine. Then we have another one that's pretty common, longer pause to formulate ideas. Like you can probably ask a question, you noticing your child just looking up or taking few minutes, seconds to think about it and formulate the idea is totally normal behavior for bilingual person. Translanguaging, this is a term that refers to a person accessing to both languages to make meaning of the world. So is normal, and that brings some mix of words. So you can see your child telling you, okay, mom, can you take me to the parque? So they're asking you to take them to the park, but they use the Spanish word in that sentence, and it's totally normal behavior. We have number 4, mixed use of cognates. Cognates are words that are pretty similar between both languages. Like the example I just did, parque and park. We have many words, academic words that are pretty similar, like multiplication, in Spanish, multiplicación. Matemática is math, mathematics. So that's what we call cognates. So you can see your child mixing those because they are pretty close to each other. And his brain is just trying to fix making sense of the two languages and when I'm going to use one and the other. So you can observe those kind of behavior in all the modalities of the language, the orally, reading not much because they're just decoding what they see, but pretty much when they talk or they're bright, you can see all those things we listed here. So sometimes parents ask, this is in Spanish, say, es normal. What it means, is this normal with my child? Is getting confused? What's going on? Yes, it is normal. And what this means is your students is accessing both languages, so it's a good thing because it's already happening in his brain, her brain. If they're trying to make sense of their surrounding and making connections. So I just want to touch base on this kind of thing you might notice on your child. You might not. As you know, every child is unique, but knowing this gives you that relief that, oh, that's totally normal. My child is becoming a bilingual person. So that's the point. So, Saya Guzman, you want to add something here?
Yeah, of course. I was waiting to add something here.
Go ahead.
Code switching. Code switching is a big one. Code switching in terms of language, I could think about, again, I'm Puerto Rican, born and raised in Puerto Rico, but my sisters are Puerto Rican, born and raised in New York. Never lived a day of their life in Puerto Rico. And code switching is a big one for them. right? They go back and forth between languages, oftentimes not even realizing which language they're using. It's a natural way of using language. Something to keep in mind in code switching as they do this at school, our job as educators is to give them the format and the tools to be able to use the structures for language. And that's when it goes into translanguaging, right? You do code switching, you go back in languages. The teacher is able to say, oh, he or she is switching the noun and the verb, or the adverb and the verb, because in Spanish it's say in this order, but in English it's in this different order. So the structure is there, and that's our job. While at home you might hear some mix of languages, at school we understand that process, and those are the structures that we get to put in place for them to be able to use both languages, right? It's something we tap into, and as we kind of evolve in dual language, is the use of cognates. That it's very powerful. The stronger we build a foundation in language and vocabulary using cognates in those two languages, the quicker the student will be able to produce the language. So don't be frustrated if your student is only speaking English at this moment, because you might be wondering, but isn't she or he supposed to be learning in Spanish? How come I never hear a word? Well, it's because as humans, we process, right? That intake of language is very important. And it takes some time for us to be able to produce the language. So it is okay, it is normal for students to be learning in a different language and not yet at the age of kinder and first grade to be producing as much, right? So keep that in mind. We have the best interest and we have the structures in school to make sure that he or she is able to produce Spanish by second grade.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. This is a question that as a parent and a mother, you always wondering, how can I support my child, especially in a program that is taught in a language different from my home language. So how can I support my child? So we always trying to create resources for you to be able to access information, what kind of things you can do. So there's a resources we have through our Immersion site. We call Spanish 101. There's over there, you're going to find key phrases, academic phrases, of everyday phrases. And my suggestion and recommendation is you can just grab a couple of those phrases and learn it yourself and just try to use it at home sometime. That would be great. So your child can connect with you and say, oh, is my mom learning Spanish well? My dad? That will be so powerful for them. So this is a good site. I can show you later how to access through our website. And I think I shared this with you already in my latest newsletter. And I can talk about that later after the questions if we have more time, how to get there. Ask your child to share what she learned. That's another way you can support. Just ask him, what did you learn today? What word did you learn today? And ask them to teach you Spanish. You know, the kids feel empowered when they see them as teachers, that they can teach somebody else what they learn in school. Of course, you know your child, some of them are shy, so they might not go for, okay, come on, Dad, no. But just go there, because you can be surprised how they are able to teach you some words and some phrases of what they're learning at school. So I would suggest you to always ask, what did you learn? What can you teach me some Spanish you learned today? And that's a good way to make that connection with your child and help them to bring up what they learned during the day. Number 3, I have exposed your child to the culture. There are many ways to do it. We have right now with COVID situation, this is kind of limited, but there are community festivals out there. There's that diversity of cultures that are celebrate in the Twin Cities. So be aware of any festival. We use it at school. We spread those voices, but get out there to see what kind of Spanish speaking festival out there. eating at a restaurant helps well also to get familiar with foods and vocabulary, and even them empower them to ask for a drink, or from the menu, and try to establish conversation. This is, I think, the most important one is to take that time to get to know people that speak that language. We have a Spanish-speaking community out there, but we just need to know where they are and try to make connections. The school is a good starting point. We have Latino families, and it will be great to make those connections. Visit our immersion site, Viaje por las Américas y el Caribe, that probably you heard this before because I shared this also, but I can show you later how to access there. Why am I saying to visit the site? Because it's a wonderful way for you to see the diversity of culture within the Spanish-speaking countries. It is amazing. If you go there, it's all digital, so you can take the time with your child, go visit some countries. That's a good experience to have together and learn about other Spanish-speaking countries. Senora, you want to add something here?
No, I want to use a 10-2 strategy from GLAD and kind of pause as a presenting staff and open it up for staff. Do you have comments, questions, or something resonate with you as you heard the last 3 slides? I also added just a fun link to the chat of some basic usage of Spanish and English cognates that you could even learn, which is kind of fun. So I think open it to you all. So far, questions, comments?
Okay.
I want to clarify a little bit more from the code switching and translanguaging. So code switching is more of like a one word, like the example we're saying, can I have some agua? I saw it in the chat. That's more of code switching because they're using just one word in a conversation, switching it in language. Translanguaging is more using the structures of a language from one to the other. For example, if in like Spanish, the verb comes before the noun, and in English, the noun is before the verb. That's translanguaging, when they're using the sentence and grammatical structures from one language onto the other one. So that's why when some of our kids, we notice that, they'll use it how they know it in English to say it in Spanish, like I went to my auntie's casa, instead of saying fui a la casa de mi tía, like that switching of the order of words in a sentence. That's translanguaging. Just want to make sure that we are all understanding. And if you have any more questions about that, you can always ask our teachers.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to say, Liliana, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just relax. The kids are really, really able to learn. It's amazing. We don't see it. Sometimes you don't see it in kindergarten, as Senora Guzman said, or maybe in first grade, but suddenly it's like magic. You see how the kids start talking, how they get to the point where we want them to go. It is a challenge for the kids. It is right there. But yes, they are able to do it. And yes, sometimes we feel as a parents, it's like we feel like, oh my God, what is going on? Did I make the right choice? Is this the wrong one? You have to. They will be bilingual, and they are in the right place, and they kind of feel what you feel. So if they see that you're stressed out, then they do it the same. So trust your teacher and relax. They will get to the place. We have a wonderful staff. So for sure, they will be completely bilingual.
Yes, thank you,
Master. I'm going to say it's going to feel like magic for you as a parent to see the transformation, but it's hard work for teachers to create the conditions for that to happen, right? Because teachers are working very hard behind the scenes to create those connections so students are able to become bilingual.
Thank you for sharing that. So let's talk a little bit what's going to happen next year. So it's a good news, exciting news, because what's going to happen, our school will be a bilingual Hi-Fi, that's pre-K through 5th grade school. So the whole school is going to be completely bilingual. So that's excellent news for our community. You're going to receive more information in a letter that comes from the district. In the meantime, I just want to remind you that you just have to share it on website as your favorite tab on your device, on your phone, because we're always updating the site and posting news. So that's the best way to keep update. And also we have a Facebook page, Facebook that is Sheridan Arts Magnet all together. So this is, if you search that on your Facebook, you can find our website, and you can also like it, and then you get notified anything new we post there. So I just want to remind you those 2 ways you can keep updated. So announcements, because we have an important day coming up. October 10, this is this Saturday. We have the beautification day at school. This is going to happen the outdoors, of course, because of COVID. If you're planning to come, just make sure you wear your mask, and bring any gardening tools that might help for cleaning around. This is from 10 to 12. We had a PTO meeting on the 12th from 5 to 6:15. Some of you are already part of the PTO. Some of you probably haven't heard before about meetings. So this is a good opportunity to join PTO and be part of the conversation. October 14, we have the conference. You're going to hear more from your classroom teacher. They have a plan. They're going to contact you. They're going to set up that appointment with you. Last year, we have a reminder that on the 15 and 16, there's no classes. So keep that in mind, so you can plan accordingly. And I just want to let you know, this meeting that happened today, the plan is to have them monthly, so we can have this space to educate each other, to know more about the program, to know more about the school, to share ideas, and to keep building this community, because this is the key to success for our kids. If we are strong together, and we are making sure this community is a functional one, when we can communicate with each other and grow together, we are offering the best educational experience to our students. So I will let you know in my newsletter when that day is going to happen in November. But every single month, we're going to do our immersion meetings. And this is the part when we have an open space. I'm going to stop sharing the screen so you have questions, comments, anything you want to share. This is your moment. So just open your mic. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Eileen's mom, and since I'm a Minneapolis employee, I'm just curious about the CDD and the pathway after Sheridan. So Eileen, I mean, we're super excited to have this opportunity for her, but we're wondering what the plan is for our area for moving on after elementary.
So it's always good to have the insight of our MPS staff. Welcome to our team. That is a great question. As of right now, after the comprehensive district design was voted in, the plan is that every dual language elementary student will be going to Anderson dual language program. As of right now, based on numbers, this is our plan. And by that time, schools grow, then I'm sure we'll be thinking about adding another dual language middle school. But at this moment, that will be the only one. Anderson will be the full dual language middle school for all students.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Any other question, comment?
I just had a comment. Sienna Guzman for clarifying that. I was told that next year everything was gonna be in Spanish only. So that's why I had asked if the teachers were gonna be speaking both language in Spanish and English for the next 3 years, because I was told that come third grade everything was going to be in Spanish and the English program was going to be taken out. So, like, I kind of panicked a little because I was worried that I would have to transfer Wyatt out, and if he wasn't going to get no form of English at all. That's why I was worried, because I want Wyatt to have the benefit of both languages.
So let me clarify, because I think I got you a little bit confused, Anna. So I'm gonna blame the principal for doing that. Next year, so I'm gonna own that. Next year, our school will be dual language school, high five to fifth grade. That means that every teacher, child has to be bilingual in our building. We will not have, which is sad to say, we will not have the English pathway that we have currently. Currently, a school is half Spanish immersion and have our English pathway. We will no longer have the English pathways. These families will be invited to schools around us, schools such as Webster, schools such as Pillsbury, Marcy, just to name a few that are around us. So that is true. If they're not in Spanish immersion, they will have to go to a different site. What I meant was, in terms of bilingual, is that our students and our staff have to be bilingual, because the closer you get to fourth and fifth grade, instruction happens half of the time in English and half of the time in Spanish. So our students start very heavy with the Spanish in kinder and first grade. But the intent is, right, they're not getting Spanish at home, most likely. So we have to immerse. It's like, let's just go diving into the Spanish so they can really be exposed all day around this language. The older they get, the stronger that foundation was. And then we start then translanguaging and building bridges between English and Spanish, and students end up being bilingual by the 12th grade. I hope that clarifies. I'm sorry for the confusion.
It clarifies a little more. And like, I was trying to figure like, what can I do to help Wyatt a little more come third grade? Because right now he's not really understanding. He's clicking a little bit with Maestra Pena, but he's still not really understanding. I'm helping him with like learning about the culture and everything. I'm teaching him everything I know and what I learned, because I went to an all Latin culture and I was surrounded by it when I was in high school. And I went to El Colegio, which is in South Minneapolis, and I had Spanish all the time, where I spoke it all the time, and it was immersed. I was immersed in all that. I did all the culture. I did the food and all that. It's like, how can I take what I learned and help him? But instead, it's like, it's kind of different from what I learned to what he's being taught at Sheridan. It's like, what can I do as a parent to help him when he's not really understanding what Maestra Pena is teaching him? That's why I'm looking to you guys for help.
That's a good question that I have too. What can we do to help when they're not understanding?
I would say empower them to ask the teacher, because that's the main person in their education right there. So it's to empower them. It's okay to ask questions. You can ask we can ask together. It's just child, we got some child that are shy. Let's do it together. Empower them, because let me tell you, those teachers are amazing, and they can go 200% to make sure you let them know your child is struggling a specific thing, to give you different ways to reach out to your child and to help him. But I will say that do not put that, stress on your children that you're the one that needs to come out with that, because not your language. But you can empower your child to use the tools the school give him or her. One of them is your teacher is there for you to help you understand. So I would say that is the first step. Empower the child to ask the question. And don't take it personal and that stress on you that, oh my gosh, my child's not, what am I supposed to do? No, you just need to just put some independence. Okay, let's go. Let's ask the teacher. Let's find ways to solve this problem we have right now. I don't know if any other teacher want to add to that.
That's very helpful.
And just know that like, they are gonna struggle a little bit, and that is okay, because that's how they kind of start making sense of it too. Yeah, definitely. As a teacher, sometimes we have a different perspective from what we notice in the classroom, so it's just good to have that open communication of what you notice at home with what I or the other teachers notice during the school day. Because you as a parent, I know, are gonna see it differently from your parent eyes than from me. And it's just good to have that open communication of like, yeah, I see him struggling, but I've noticed that if we keep pushing him a little bit more, he's gonna get it, or he's almost there. So yes, definitely asking and having that communication with the teacher back and forth so that you can both be on the same page on how you're gonna support the student.
And also continue reading at home, please. That's basic. Don't believe that because your child is in a dual immersion program. No, read at home every day. Look for books. Ask questions. Use the power that you have at home, because that language is there for them, and they will use that background to transfer to the second language. As stronger as they are in one language, they will become stronger in the second one, whatever language is that. That's one of the basic behind all of this dual immersion. So keep working at home. Don't worry about the Spanish. Use what you know. Use everything. So they transfer right away all of that stuff, and they get to the school with all of that in their mind. So teachers will use that too as a tool to improve what they are learning in the second language.
Do you want me to show you how to find the Spanish 101? There's a lot of resources there also to support your child home.
Please.
I don't know. If you want me to show.
I also wanted to share. I'm a parent of a third grader. And thank you, Yolanda, for the reminder not to worry. It does come, and it's easy, I think, especially when you're seeing them on the screen and, you're working through your own stuff with education, right? but to trust the teachers. I've seen my son really progress a lot, and actually it is fun to watch him on the app and like some of the dream box and stuff like that. He really is understanding. And so, yeah, not to worry. And I'd also want to put a plug for the Hennepin County I think every library I visited has a Spanish section, and they have Spanish board books that have been really helpful, because sometimes they're translated English and Spanish. So we read those ones. And then now in not third grade. Did I say third grade? First grade. Sorry, he's in first grade. He's already, in first grade, he's already reading.
My daughter's class. Is it Emil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
not everyone in the PTO as a third grader, just most of us.
I know. I've been here for 3 years. High five, first grade and kindergarten. But it's fun because now he can read the Spanish. He's reading the Spanish side, and then I'm still able to read him the English side, and so he's getting that too. We include the little brother in that. So the Hennepin County libraries have a lot of really great books to fill in your evening reading or whatever.
Thank you.
And if you don't mind, with all the respect of all the parents in the house right now, I'm gonna call in something that I'm sure you're aware of, and it's your own fears, right? Um, we as humans, we're all about finding patterns of behaviors, and that's how we learn. And we just copy what we see others doing. And if you doubt that, think about your mom and things you said you would never do, that your mom did, and then you catch yourself doing just like your mom did. That's a funny one. But children are watching, they're watching patterns. And what happens is when you have this fear of the language, this is too hard for my child to do, guess what you're doing without meaning to do it? The unintended is that your child is also starting to believe that this is too hard for me to do when he or she has the capacity to do so. So be aware of your own emotions around challenging situations, because whatever you show, children will adopt. And I know that's a hard thing sometimes, but just want to encourage you to be kind of self-monitoring and self-aware of how you feel about things.
Yeah, that's why I was so intentional saying empower your child, because just be that coach. Yes, you're gonna do it. It's okay. We all struggle. Let's ask the teacher, because that self-esteem, that empowerment is gonna let your child fall in love with the language, with the culture, and they're gonna believe me. It's like an onion layer. What you see, that behavior outside, just a little piece of what's really happening here. It's amazing what is happening here. I just gonna say quickly my own experience with my son. We were trying to teach Spanish, and we said the struggle for him, and I was worried. It was until I traveled to my country, I was thinking, oh my God, he's gonna suffer talking to his cousin. He cannot communicate. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be miserable. He was incredible. It was an opening. That immersion, his brain click, and I saw for the first time my son speaking Spanish. Like, oh my gosh, it's in there. So everything is happening there. So have faith, because this is a program to have faith. So put the faith on your child. They can do it. They are amazing. Their brains are a sponge. Our brains are, yeah, but their brains, oh my gosh, they can do anything. So yeah, put faith on your child. They can get there. I think we are about time. I think actually,
I cannot let people go without putting a little seed in their heads, right? Just a little one. So as you are working day in and day out with trying to support children, and Sheridan staff trying to come up with interactive opportunities for them, Sheridan School has also been very strong on interrupting and dismantling structures that continue to oppress us students of color. I could proudly say I'm a leader that stands for equity, and equity brings comfort and discomfort to many. And part of the equity actions that we engage right now is on disrupting the oppressive name that has been given to our school. So Sheridan comes from a general called Philip Sheridan, who at his time was a great leader. That's how they called him. He was a great, outstanding leader, but did many things that would not be considered, under my eyes, a great leader. He doesn't hold any of the qualities I would use to describe a leader, and he took a lot of pride on affecting our indigenous communities in the U.S., affecting from the part of the emotional abuse into the actual physical harm and death of some. Because we've learned about the history, we're saying we've had enough with the name Sheridan. We don't stand for Sheridan. Sheridan doesn't stand for us. And we're making a call to our families to engage in this conversation in a name change that we would love to do this year. So if you're interested, our Sheridan website has a few links. There's also PTO and Site Council has merged to start talking about the school initiative. Sonia is in the space. She is co-leading this effort with Miss Martin, who's a teacher of our community. So I'm making an invitation to you all to learn more about why we need to be named differently and not Sheridan.
Okay, I'm going to include what Senora Guzman said. It's kind of like opinion survey about that name change in our next newsletter. So look for it this Friday. It's coming up. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. We're here for you. If anything is pending, just send us a message and we try our best to answer, okay?
I'm very thankful for your presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much.